truly takes a unit. It starts with me, and it starts with the direction we get from KP, and we all have to help each other.
We're not letting a loss just humble us, and can't let it humble. You got to keep going. Continue to find ways. This team is fine. This team is motivated and trying to get on the same page. Just lack of execution at the wrong time. If it's first down and you get lack of execution, it may not be the end of the world. But when it happens on third down, or puts us behind the sticks, that's hard to recover in this league. So I just think just being on the same page, the communication, lack of execution.
RC, we'll come to you first. Is this week a must-win for the Eagles in order for you to believe in them as a real threat in the NFC?
Yeah, it's a must-win, but it's fluid. Right? Because obviously, things could change. Things could change as you get more information, but to me, the thing that's been tremendous about the Philadelphia Eagles during this Super Bowl and championship run of theirs is their ability to adjust, their ability to handle adversity and persevere, to make changes, and to find ways to move forward that makes them better than they were the week before or the weeks before. We haven't seen that from them this year. This year started with an ineptitude on offense, and we've seen it continue throughout the season, and after week after week after week, it's getting worse. Star player after star player is not producing as you expected them to. And it's amounted to 2 losses against the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants, especially teams you're supposed to be better than, and we know you have a better roster there. And so if you don't win this game against the Minnesota Vikings, who aren't the team we expected them to be coming into this season, I have no belief in you that this group of individuals can right the ship like we saw them do under Kellen Moore last year.
What? Must win? If they lose, they'd be 4-3. They could lose and still clearly be in first place. It's not a must win. That's outrageous. They got to play better. You want them to look better on offense. You want this run game to have a little bit more of an impact than it did last year, and it should, because Minnesota defensively has not been great defending the run. But if they lose, are we sitting here saying, okay, Philadelphia's sitting at 4-3, we don't believe in them as much as we believe in, like, the Washington Commanders? We're gonna take the Washington Commanders over them? You watch that defense play? We're gonna sit there and say we like them over Green Bay because Green Bay's offensive line hasn't been great this year. We're gonna sit here and say we like them over San Francisco because they're dealing with a ton of injuries. This is not a must-win. They gotta play better on offense. They gotta get back to being able to control the line of scrimmage, be less predictable in their play calls, create the one-on-ones outside, and Jalen and AJ, Jalen Devontae to connect. If they do that, this will start to trend in the right direction. This is by no means a must-win. If they lose, it's not great, but none of us. Well, if the Chiefs have earned the benefit of the doubt, so have the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles have earned the benefit of the doubt. You're right about that, but here's where I would challenge you. I don't believe it's a must-win, but I believe that's by default. I think as you look at the NFC East, obviously the way the Commanders have been struggling, the way the Dallas Cowboys clearly have no defense whatsoever, and although we're excited about Jackson Dart and Sam Scatterbo and these boys, they did lose to New Orleans in one of the last 3 games. That's the one loss. They won the other 2 games. So we get that part. Here's what I would say to you to sort of support RC's point, however. It's not about the record with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's about what we're witnessing from them and where they are going forward. In the past, they've had issues. You had an offensive coordinator, somebody that was experienced, striking, then he departs, and then you bring in somebody that wasn't a part of things, and things go awry. You elevate it from within, and things go awry. You bring in Kellen Moore, all right, he does a hell of a job. Y'all win a Super Bowl championship. He departs, and you promote it from within to somebody that never did this before. These are issues that they're having. They're looking at the offensive coordinator, not just themselves, and they're thinking that they can do a lot better. And you know, because of their experience in their championship pedigree, that they should know what it takes to right the ship. If you go out there and lose 3 games in a row, it's going to tell us something about the Eagles that we may not have thought about, because nobody expects them to lose 3 games in a row. That's where I think RC is coming from. I know that's where I'm coming from. Am I right, RC?
No, listen, absolutely. It's not about the numerical probabilities of them hosting a playoff game or them winning the NFC East or looking at the rest of the NFC and saying, okay, they can beat Washington, they can compete with Tampa Bay. I'm not talking about all of those things. We understand that about the Eagles, but as the season goes along, things change. Nolan Smith being injured, Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell. This isn't the defense that we watched play last year that dominated the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. And in the Super Bowl, we've had so much focus on what's happening with Jalen. Or with this offense, we're not looking at this team in its totality. They're going to need to play better ball. In playing better ball, you have to go out and win games against teams like the Minnesota Vikings. You lost at home to the Denver Broncos, where you were blanked late in that football game after Saquon Barkley catches the rail route for a touchdown. You were absolutely dominated by Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. If you come back this week and lose to the Minnesota Vikings, yes, I have less faith in a Philadelphia Eagles team that loses 3 games in a row to 3 teams that I do not believe can win the Super Bowl than I do in the Kansas City Chiefs, who I'm watching play and I'm seeing their quarterback play at a high level. I'm seeing their defense come along. I'm seeing them get under center with their quarterback and the run game start to evolve. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs have earned more cachet for me to believe that they can right the ship than the Philadelphia Eagles team, who, if they lose this week and they don't play well and the film doesn't say they're getting better, have not shown me that Kevin Patullo understands how to move them forward, much like Brian Robinson didn't years ago.
I will give you 30 seconds. Figure it out.
Win or lose for Philadelphia. 3 teams that are clearly better than them: Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Seattle.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily matter the win-loss in Philly. I agree they have to play better. That being said, we got to stop talking about teams and knowing they're losing starters or missing really impactful players because of injury if they're coming back. We've done this with the Bills this week. 8 starters are out Monday Night Football. They're going to be a different team once they get healthy. Philadelphia has to, in part defensively, to your point, RC, get healthy and play better, but it's not like this is a talent or a lacking talent roster. They're still very talented, but they're just not as good as those 3 other teams.
Astute analysis, but that was 35.
Trust himself. And I'm saying this because understanding that everyone debates this, Jalen is this, Jalen is that, even in success with the Super Bowl under his belt. But the reality is he's not playing with a trust in himself as a player. What do I mean by that? There's quarterbacks who wait to see it and throw it.
Sure.
There's quarterbacks that anticipate it, which is full-on confidence. And then there's what Jalen is doing, which is kind of seeing it and then still being hesitant. You're going to see in this clip here, Goddard is going to be over the middle. And there's timing on this, that right now he's open. This is when this ball typically comes out. But Jalen wants to be very sure of what's going on, almost to feel like he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Risk averse.
Right? He's very risk averse. He's playing more risk averse than we've typically seen him in the past. This next one is going to be on A.J. Brown, because he has to also play with the trust that he's going to run his route to win because of his ability, and Jalen is going to find him. Jalen is locked into A.J. right here. He lets this ball go, but out of this break when he clears coverage, A.J. Brown slows down, which results in a 4-yard overthrow. That should have been a big touchdown. Next here, you're going to have single high safety, 2 slots down the seam, which is simple as this. If that middle high safety goes to the right, you throw it to the left. If he bails to the left, you throw it to the right. Here, it is very definitive where that safety moves, and Jalen doesn't see it. He vacates the pocket, and another missed opportunity for this offense. Jalen has the ability. He has the knowledge. He's as good as any quarterback in the league. He has to play with the trust and the confidence in himself to make those decisions as soon as he feels them, because they'll be right.
We're in that moment to where every conversation that takes place in the cafeteria is Jalen Hurts a great quarterback, or is he a byproduct of being surrounded by all these superstars? Listening to you break it down, it's like if they're not running the football well, they're also challenging Jalen to beat them through the air.
Correct.
And he doesn't let it loose. Like, he doesn't rip it. You saying he's not trusting himself, whatever it is. They're not paying him $50 million to sit back there and bake a pizza. They're paying him $50 million to sling the rock. And right now, he's choking the football when he's looking at open windows to throw the ball.
Yeah, their passing game is totally a product of their run game and creating one-on-one opportunities outside. If you go back to the Super Bowl of last year and the Kansas City Chiefs playing against them, they played them one-on-one. They ate them up. If you go back to the Rams game in the second half and the comeback, they played one-on-one on the outside, AJ ate them up. Right now, defenses, if we're standing here at 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday and we're showing everybody, defenses know it. Defenses are sitting there going, they're not throwing the ball in the middle of the field. He's not comfortable doing that.